Hey,
Hey,
what's up,
y'all.
everybody? How's it going? Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. We always want to make sure, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, click the bell over to the side so you make sure you get the notifications for whenever we post new content.
Absolutely. Today, we are going to be talking about the real deal when it comes to marriage.
Yes, the struggle that marriage can be, the work that marriage actually does take. I know a lot of times, you see loving couples and how wonderful and how great it is, but honestly and truthfully, behind the scenes, marriage takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of coming together, a lot of communication, a lot of back and forth to be able to put together what you would see or what somebody else would see as a loving, great marriage. You can talk to other couples, you can talk to an older group of couples to tell you that have been married 50, 60, 70 years.
But we've always worked as a team, and we've learned to respect each other's talents and likes and dislikes.
They'll tell you it takes a lot to get to that point because you go through so many things and so many changes throughout your marriage, and when two people come together, it becomes difficult. Yes, I do. I know. I understand. As a preacher, the Bible does say that the man leaves his mother and father and cleaves to his wife, which means that the mama's boys and stuff like that have to be left behind because the woman's supposed to come first. And it says that the two shall become one flesh. It does say that. That does not mean that there won't be struggles that happen during the marriage.
As he stated earlier, a lot of times you see the happier side of marriage, whereas you don't see the arguments between the two. You don't see the disagreements. You don't see the miscommunication that sometimes tend to happen when you guys are married. In marriage, it is essential that you learn not only how to argue, but you learn how to listen effectively, not to listen to respond or rebuttal to what it is your husband or your wife is saying, but that you're listening to understand the feeling that's behind what it is they've said.
It can be a struggle to begin to get things together. When you think about it, in the very beginning, everything seemed to be so sweet, everything seems to be loving, you're always with each other, every joke is funny, everything is just absolutely perfect about the other person, and then all of a sudden the first argument hit. Boom. And now what? You didn't realize that they could become this angry. You didn't realize that they were this rude or this mean. Now you have to figure out, is this something that I really want to go through? Is this person really somebody that I want to try and truck through life with, knowing that this is what they have standing behind them, knowing that this is the type of person that they can be or become? Marriage is not just something to play around with, I guess you could say. Or marriage is not just something that is a flyby thing or is just a cutesy thing because you see the wedding dress and you see the film of how wonderful it was for the marriage to happen. You really have to understand the person and know the person that you're with in order for the marriage to really come together and work. When it talks about becoming one flesh, that means that you two are now one person. So when they do something, that reflects on you. When you do something, that reflects on them. The way that they are is going to be a big picture of how you are with them.
He speaks the truth. I'll give you a little insight. When he and I were dating, he saw the sweet side of me. It was all peaches and cream, roses, strawberries.
Yellow carnations. Like pink carnations.
We got married and we had our first argument, and let me tell you, it was no joke. He realized the way I speak, or the way I used to speak. We've been married for some time now, so I've learned how to communicate effectively with my husband. It was tough getting there, but I made it. Don't be making that face. In marriage, there are some sacrifices that have to be made in order for a marriage to work. Mama's boys kind of got to let that go. Just like the daddy's girl had to let it go. You know, I love my daddy. I'm his favorite, you know. I'm sure my sister may have something to say, but still, I'm his favorite. But when he and I got married, there were some things that had to change within the marriage. The ultimate sacrifice is yourself. Sometimes you have to put aside how you feel and care about how your husband or your wife feels about a certain situation. In marriage, compromise is a humongous word that has to come into play almost on a daily basis. There are some things that your wife is going to want to do, going to want to say, going to want to whatever, and you may not be all into it. But compromising is something that you have to learn how to do, and you have to learn how to do it selflessly. Sometimes you ain't gonna want to compromise. Trust me, I understand. It gets hard. But if it is for the good of the marriage, or not even the good of the marriage, if it's for the good of your spouse, if you know it's something that they want to do, just do it. How much stuff do you do just to do it?
All the time, everything. I love doing stuff just to do it. That's just me. You're absolutely, she's absolutely right. You have to, in marriage, you have to want to do things simply because you love the other person. Yes, it might not be something that you particularly would want to do. It might not be something that even tickles your fancy, if you will, makes you delightful. It's something that is on your agenda of doing things. But if it's on theirs, you know, tickle your fancy. You know, something that's like, oh, that's something I would do.
Yeah, but like,
oh, tickle your fancy. Fine.
How old are you really? I mean, you know, last time it was Poppy Gosh. Now we tickling fancies. Y'all think he lied to me about his age.
The struggle is real. So you want to be sure that the person you're with is someone that you want to go through these things with, somebody that you want to endure these things with. You have to remember now, when you start making decisions, you can't think about self. You have to think about the other person that is connected to you. The choices that you make are no longer just choices that affect you. They affect the person that also is connected to you. And that can become tough because there's things that you might want to do that would not actually be beneficial to the person that you're connected to in the relationship. And so therefore, you probably can't do them. Sacrifice becomes a big thing. You have to give up doing certain things that aren't beneficial for the relationship. You have to give up going certain places that probably aren't conducive of being married and being in a relationship. And so therefore, you have to make sure this is the one you want to be with. So what we want you to understand is that marriage is not something that you just jump into and think everything is going to be all great. It takes work. And depending on who you choose to be with, it could take a lot of work.
Why you make that face?
I just want them to know it can take a lot of work sometimes. You just never know. It just depends on their person. That's all. That's all.
You're right. It could take a lot of work.
Just never know. Yes, it took a minute for us to be able to understand the communication process. It took us a minute to be able to understand how to mesh and grow together, to learn to be able to get through certain things, get through certain arguments, certain battles, certain disagreements together and effectively the right way so that our relationship grows from it and it does not hinder or set us back.
Now that we've given you just a tiny glimpse into our marriage and our relationship, we hope that you can take the advice given and Apply it to your marriage, apply it to your relationship. And always remember, arguments are bound to happen. When you get two people together of different personalities, of different backgrounds, arguments are bound to happen. One thing you must always remember when arguing with your spouse or when having a discussion with your spouse is to stop, take out self, and completely and thoroughly listen to what it is your significant other is saying. Listen to the words that are coming out of their mouth, and as you listen, survey the body language. Effectively listening to a person that you are what? Effectively listening to the person that you are in a relationship is effectively listening to the person that you are in a relationship with is essential for any and every marriage to succeed. Once again, thank you for coming to check us out.
Absolutely.
Thank you for continuously watching our videos.
Thank
We
you so
see y'all
much.
out there. We're getting the comments, we're getting the emails, and we love and appreciate it all. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button that's down there and tap that bell over to the side so that you get all notifications when we post another video. Until next time, peace.